What if you could bring your images to life within a few minutes? Midjourney has added a very cool new option which allows you to turn static images, even brand photos, into animated videos. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that and a few things to think about in how to use these videos for your content creation. To create a video in Midjourney, we're going to want to be in the web-based version of Midjourney. So go to midjourney.com and sign in. And then you're going to want to go to the left-hand side and click on the Create tab. This is the one I've got open right now. You can see it's highlighted in red with a little paintbrush. And that is where we're going to start with creating our videos. Now, I've already got a few images here ready to go, so you will want to create some images to play with before you start creating your videos. But let's start with this one here. So I'm going to click on the image, and you're going to see all these options on the right-hand side. The ones that we're most concerned with are the ones on the bottom right here under Animate Your Image. This is brand new, came out a couple days ago, and it gives you the option to either allow Midjourney to animate your images and kind of have its say in how things should look, or a manual option where you can actually specify how you want things animated. So if I'm going to click on auto, and we also see you've got two options here, low motion and high motion. Low motion is generally, for the most part, there's going to be less motion in the image. So there might be like one thing, moving, or a couple things moving, as opposed to a lot of things moving. High motion, you're going to see a lot of things potentially moving in the image, like perhaps her hair and her walking and people in the background and a whole bunch of things like that, potentially faster walking and those kinds of things. Whereas low motion might just be her walking or, small movements and things like that. So let's start with auto, and we're going to go with let's try low motion. And we're going to let that generate. You can see on the top left here, you can see 0 out of 1 shows that it's starting to create our video for us. But it just takes a minute or two to do. So let's do a few other things while we're waiting for that. We're also going to try low motion and high motion with the manual option. So again, with auto, we don't really have a say in how this is going to be animated. Versus if we go with manual, we can specify. So let's click on low motion, bottom right-hand side under animate your image. You can see it pops your image up to the top here, and then it also has the prompt for the original image. We're going to put a comma, and then we're going to say how we want this image to be animated. And so I'm going to put a woman walking down a hallway. Hit enter. I'm going to do that for high motion as well, just so we can compare and see what the difference would be. A woman walking down a hallway. So we'll let that one go as well. Okay, so we exit out of here with this little X mark up here, top right. And then we're going to go up to the top here, and we're going to see that it's generating our videos. Similar to images, it creates 4 options for you for each kind of prompt that you run. And so we've got 4 options, and you can see the progress bar on the left-hand side, or progress percentages. And so we can see how long it's taking for it to complete. And I'll just pause the video for a second. All right, so these videos have finished generating, and we're going to click on one here. If you click on it, you can actually see a preview of what the motion looks like for these ones, but let's click on it to get a closer look. So you can see her walking here, the hair's bouncing a little bit, and she's smiling, some eye contact as well. Smile's a little bit too big in my opinion, but that's okay. For the most part, I am still fairly impressed with her walking. It looks quite natural, so that's awesome. We'll try the next one here. You can see there's somebody in the background faintly. There's a little bit of hair movement, that sort of thing. Next one, her looking away, smiling, that sort of thing. And so this is the auto option. So this is what Midjourney came up with based on this image. I think that one looks pretty good as well. So overall, pretty good. This would make a great reel, adds a little bit of motion rather than a static image. So if you wanted to show a bunch of different images, you could have some that are animated to just create a little more interest in your social media posts. So the next set are the ones that I did manually. And so you can see this one's got a bit of a slower walk. I specified her walking down the hallway. Last little bit looks a little bit weird, a little kind of weird gait there, but I think the first part is good, so I could always use part of that in a video. Similar here. Next one. So yeah, overall, pretty good. That one actually panned the camera a bit, so that's kind of cool. right. So yeah, those are some examples there of animating an image. I'm gonna do another one, or another two actually. I'm gonna click on this teacup and we're gonna do low motion. I find that tends to work better for something that you want to be subtle. So click low motion, and then I'm gonna just go in here to the prompt and I'm gonna put a comma and put tea is steaming. And that's gonna be the action we want happening, is steam coming off. There's different ways to write it, but that should work. So that's our cup of tea. And then we're gonna do another one here with this lady. Again, low motion. And then I'm gonna put woman, oops, I'm on the wrong image. One moment, let's click on that one again. All right, so let's do low motion. And we're gonna put woman is waving with one hand. Click enter. And we'll see how those two do. And again, I'm doing manual low motion on that one because I want control. I want her to wave her hand. If I were to go with low motion with auto, it's going to do something different. You're going to see it's not necessarily going to have her waving her hand because that was not in the prompt. So if you want something specific, you do need to go with manual and add it into your prompt. All right, let's see how it did. All right, looks like we're almost done for the teacup here. All right, our videos are done generating here. So let's click on one. You can see now they see the steam coming off of all of them there. Click on one for a closer look. We've got some nice steam coming off there, and it's also zooming in a little bit as well. I didn't ask for that necessarily, but it's a nice effect. So and it does add a bit more motion to the image as well. Again, these are great if you want to add a little bit more movement to your Instagram reels or stories or things like that. You could then add words on top of it using the different apps or in Instagram itself. So again, adds a little bit more visual interest with the movement, which is pretty cool. All right, let's check out our lady with the hands. Oh, there we go. She's waving. That's perfect. Awesome. So that one I think looks pretty good. Exactly what I wanted it to do with her waving. I did notice a couple of these had extra hands. So as always with Midjourney, you will want to check to make sure there are not extra limbs or fingers. Overall, Midjourney does way better than most of the other AIs out there, if not all of them. And so, but you still need to be careful, right? So this one I would not use because there's an extra hand. Same thing with this one. This hand stayed stuck there. But the first one worked out pretty good, right? You can see that one worked out great. Okay, and then the next set is basically when we allowed Midjourney to dictate how it would be, how much motion there would be. So in this case, we've got the hair, we've got her kind of moving her hands and stuff like that, waving both of them as if she was talking. This one, kind of similar, very similar to the other one. She kind of moved her hair there. That's kind of fun. Yeah, so basically, if you don't know how you want the image animated, you can go with auto. If you know how you want it animated, go with manual. All right, so a couple other things. You can actually bring in external images and animate those too. I think that's also groundbreaking and pretty cool. So to do that, I'm just going to go to my desktop. I'm going to drag an image in. So I'm going to drag it in here. As I'm dragging it in, there's different options here. You're going to see all these different options. What we're going to do is put it into the starting frame one. You can see where it hits turn gray, where I have my image hovering over top of it. So we're just going to drop it into starting frame. And so you can see it's right up here at the top. And then we can also add in a command. So we could put a slow zoom into the subject. Subject looks up at the end. So hit enter and see how that does. I should also clarify that by external image, I mean images that are not in Midjourney yet. So images like brand photos, for example. You could bring your brand photos into Midjourney. You could bring other images that you have that you want to animate into Midjourney. You could bring in illustrations you've done and animate those. So all sorts of different options, but the idea is you can bring an image that is not in Midjourney into Midjourney and animate that. So not just the images that are in Midjourney that you've already created. These ones here have all been images that I created using Midjourney. But this one here is a brand photo of me. So let's see how this one does. We're almost done here, 92%. There we go, 100. Okay, so I asked for a slow zoom into the subject. Subject looks up at the end. Let's see how it did. All right, it's doing the slow zoom in, which is awesome. And then I'm looking up, which is great. And that's another good one as well. Now, one thing I would caution you with if you are doing this with brand photos is the face does look a little bit different, right? Like zooming into about this point, it's all me, but then the part where she's looking up, the face is a little bit different. So I probably wouldn't use this image or this video myself for my brand, except for the first part. I would cut out the part where she's actually looking up just because it doesn't quite look like me. Let's try another one here. That one would actually work pretty well. That one, because I still have like a small smile, I feel like that still looks quite a bit like me. So I would be happy to use that one in a reel. And that would be actually really great. I could just put some words on top and yeah, awesome. And I think that's the last one there. So overall, I say it does a pretty good job. Just be careful that it still maintains the integrity of your face. I would suggest avoiding any that it does look a little bit not like you. If it doesn't look quite like you, then cut those parts out. And I could have just also put in, you know, this slow zoom in on the subject. I didn't necessarily have to ask for the subject to be looking up at the end. I just wanted to see how it would do. So, but you could also just ask for simple commands that don't require the person looking up, and that way you would keep the integrity of your face in that video. Couple other things while we're in on this particular video, you'll see there are some other things over here. If you click on this drop down, that's going to allow you to download your video, which is obviously helpful if you want to be able to use it. You can also heart the image so it's easier to find later. And there's a drop down here which allows you to say copy the prompt if you want to, those kinds of things, download. There's an option for download to social media. It's brand new as well in Midjourney, that option. You can also let them know if you like the video. So for example, I think it was this one that I liked, where she has like the small smile, that one right there. I really like that video. Whereas maybe this one I don't like, so I would just click don't like. This really helps Midjourney learn. And then you see some other options down here as well. You can rerun this, which means we're basically just going to rerun that same video with different options. So I'll go up to the one that I really like, which I think is this one. Yeah, so let's rerun that one and see what kind of other options we get. You can also click on prompt. It's going to pop the prompt up to the top here. It includes the video. So if you wanted to make changes, that's a really quick, easy way to do that. I could just delete this part, for example, ask it to run it that way. And you can also do start frame. So you can just start the video with that. And we could put a slow zoom out. All right, let's just go see how those things did. All right, let's take a look at how it did. So this set of four here is from the original image that I brought in, and that was a brand photo of me. So I brought in a brand photo of me and animated it. Then I chose one of those images that I liked, and then I hit the rerun button. And so these four up here are what happened when I hit rerun. So you can see they're very similar. However, I would say I prefer the expression on my face in the original image, like these two on the right-hand side. Not a fan of those ones. I think this one actually works. I could use that one. That one still looks quite a bit like me. So, and the one on the left-hand side even better. So those two, I would say, worked pretty well. Rerunning it, just a couple different options. That's basically the why you would rerun it if you just want a few other options and see if it gives you something slightly different that you like a little bit better. Okay, so the next set of images, what I did is I had basically gone into the image. I'm just going to get rid of what I have on the top there. So I'd gone into the image and I had clicked on the prompt button on the bottom right. So it had popped up the video and the prompt, and then I'd gone in and deleted part of the prompt, the part about me looking up. And this is basically what it gave me, was these 4 images. Still very, very similar to the original image. I think 2 of them I'm not looking up at the end. So that part worked out. These 2 I'm still looking up, which is interesting, but Midjourney still takes a little bit of liberties there. Maybe it's pulling off of the original video. But these 2 where I had deleted the looking up, it doesn't have me looking up. So again, you can go in and change the prompt if you want a different action. So that's when you would use that, is if you want something to be a little bit different in the animation. The last part, this one here, and again, if you have this step up here because you've been experimenting with a few things, you can delete it. So I can delete that and I can X out this little part here. So now we're starting from scratch. So this last part up top here, what I had done is I'd gone into the video and I had put start frame and had put the original image up there, and then I had a different prompt. You can see on the right hand side, this is the prompt that I used. I used a slow zoom out. And so you can see for this particular video, rather than zooming in, it's zooming out. This one here, it's zooming in, since that's what I'd asked for, slow zoom into the subject. This one is zooming out. And it did a really good job. Like, I think the chairs and the table, everything looks really good. It even kept the artwork pretty similar, added in a light, a roof in some cases, with skylights. The shoes are different in all of them. So, it's something you are going to want to pay attention to. Do you like certain things it's adding into the image, and does everything look okay? I would say when I look at these images, the glasses look better than this one. This one looks like a giant water glass, a little bit out of proportion. So just kind of keep an eye out for those kinds of things to make sure it looks okay. But for the most part, it did a pretty good job. And I could just then put some text on top of that and use that in a reel on Instagram. Now that you've seen what's possible with this new Midjourney feature, imagine what you could create with the full picture. Inside my AI Visuals Academy course, I walk you through everything from the foundational tools to the more advanced techniques with Midjourney AI, so you can confidently create visuals that resonate with your brand and support your business. You'll find the link in the description below if you want to check it out. And I also have a free resource on AI image creation that I'll include below as well. And if you want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. I've got more tutorials coming soon.